Listen closely, because what's about to be said is harsh but real. The biggest threat to your startup isn't your competition, your market, or even the economy. It's you. Yes, the very person who's supposed to be driving the vision, pushing the limits, and breaking the rules might be the one slowing everything down, burning the fuel that's supposed to ignite a rocket instead into smoke that blinds you all. Think about it. Every founder starts with a fire inside, a belief so fierce it could move mountains. But fires without boundaries, without guidance, burn out fast or consuming everything in a chaotic blaze. Are your own fears, doubts, ego, or habits the chains dragging your startup down? Are you unknowingly the enemy inside your own camp? Let's get brutal here because it's time somebody tells you the truth no one else is daring to say. Founders are expected to be superheroes, visionaries, leaders, brave pioneers riding the waves of chaos toward uncharted success. But underneath that mask, they often battle isolation, self-doubt, and an unbearable pressure to be perfect. The world tells you to be strong, decisive, unstoppable. But what if strength sometimes looks like stubbornness? What if that relentless drive turns into tunnel vision that blinds you to every sign flashing danger? If every mistake feels like the end of the world, if every criticism is a personal attack, if every failure is a scar you carry alone, then you're trapped in a cycle that eats away your clarity and crushes your potential. Your startup doesn't just need hustle or passion. It needs you to be honest about where you might be sabotaging the very thing you claim to love. It's easy to point at others. Investors, team members, market conditions, they all seem like perfect excuses to explain why things aren't working. But deep down, do you feel it too? That nagging voice inside that whispers you missed the bigger picture because you were too wrapped up in your own story? Founders often cling to their identity, their original idea, their authority, like a lifeline. That's what kills innovation. Refusing to pivot, refusing to listen, refusing to admit that you don't have all the answers, that's where the poison creeps in. Your startup thrives on evolution, not rigidity. The biggest threat is not external. It is the founder's inability to evolve beyond their old self, to shed the roles, the fears, and yes, the ego that built the story, but now confines it. Sometimes your own beliefs become your prison. The rules you unconsciously follow, the systems you've accepted, the comfort zones you protect, not because they're safe, but because they're familiar, slowly turn your startup into a project stuck in a loop. The world outside may scream for innovation and disruption, but inside, your thoughts might be running on repeat. This is how it's done. I have to be the one deciding. Change is risky. I can't trust others. Holding on to control at all costs kills growth. Great founders learn to let go strategically. They build systems, they cultivate teams, they embrace dissent and challenge. They don't just manage, they liberate themselves out of self-imposed shackles. The greatest startup killers are often the invisible ones: burnout, perfectionism, fear of failure, pride, and trust issues. Burnout isn't just exhaustion. It's the slow disintegration of passion, the moment when waking up stops feeling like a conquest and starts feeling like a battle with your own mind. Perfectionism hides behind productivity, but whenever you delay, overwork, or obsess, you're feeding the beast. Fear of failure sounds like caution, but it can paralyze decision-making, kill chances before they even begin. Pride prevents owning mistakes, slows learning, blocks feedback. Distrust isolates you from your team, turning collaboration into suspicion. If you sense any of these creeping in, it's a flashing red alert. The biggest threat is inside you, quietly mutating into a resistance that no outside force can penetrate. So what now? How do you stop being the enemy yourself and start being the force your startup desperately needs? First, embrace brutal honesty. Look in the mirror and admit where you're stuck, scared, or holding on too tightly. This isn't weakness, it's clarity. The strongest founders aren't those who never fail or stumble, they're the ones who can face their own limits and rewrite the script without flinching. Next, practice ruthless self-awareness. Your brain will trick you into comfort, into justifying bad habits or ignoring warning signs. Train yourself to see these patterns. Ask hard questions. Am I open to feedback or am I defensive? Am I pushing forward or just pushing because I'm afraid to stop? Am I serving the startup or my own ego? This work hurts like hell, but it's the only way forward. Then, build a fortress around your mind with the right people, those who will burn with you, challenge you, call you out, and hold you accountable. This isn't about surrounding yourself with yes men who admire your vision blindly. It's about linking with those rare few who don't just nod, but ignite your thinking, who don't just follow, but provoke new paths. Trust is earned, yes, and it has to be given strategically. But isolation is a killer. You can't be a one-person empire. Power is in connection, fierce, honest, and complementary. If you feel alone, broken, or misunderstood, it's not a curse. It's a sign you need to recalibrate who's in your orbit. And don't confuse control with leadership. Control is fear in disguise. Leadership is inspired influence. It's giving power so others can grow, not hoarding it to soothe your insecurities. Learn to delegate without losing sight. Empower your people to create, to fail, to challenge you. That's where true innovation happens. Your startup is not your legacy. It's your platform for ideas, impact, transformation. When you stop clinging and start enabling, the whole system breathes new life. Own your failures now, openly and quickly. Growth isn't just about hitting milestones. It's about surviving your own mistakes, how fast you learn, how honest you are with your team and yourself. Silicon Valley cliches hate failure, but true founders embrace it, dissect it, and use it to reset the course. No one grows in comfort. The fire you're so scared to burn with, it's your fuel. Run towards it, not away. Listen, your startup's future will never be shaped by playing it safe, by fitting into the neat boxes offered by systems designed for mediocrity. The world outside may scream for normal, for comfort, for order. But inside your heart, that fire's screaming for chaos, for risk, for radical change. Don't smother that flame to please the world. Instead, learn how to tame it into a force of transformation. If you want to break free, first break your own limits. Stop waiting for permission or the perfect moment. Stop pretending you have to carry the weight of the world alone. Stop believing the lies that say your startup depends on you mechanical, perfect, immovable. It depends on your evolving, growing, liberating self, the one who can sit with discomfort, question their own mind, build fierce alliances, and dare the impossible. The biggest threat in your startup today might be yourself, but the biggest breakthrough is also within you. Waiting for the moment you own your shadows, ignite your inner revolution, and unleash a version of yourself far beyond what you ever believed possible. This isn't about surviving another quarter or chasing vanity metrics. It's about becoming the founder who doesn't just build a company, but unleashes a movement, a new reality, a collective of rare minds rewriting what it means to create and lead. Your next step is clear, even if it's brutal. Look in the mirror, not for admiration, but for revolution. Tear down the stories that no longer serve. Burn what needs to burn. Build what needs to rise. Stop being the bottleneck, the silent killer inside your startup. Become the fearless leader who breaks boundaries, not just charts paths. Be the spark that doesn't just start a fire, but leads a blaze so bright it burns away every doubt, every limitation, every threat, including the one you never saw coming, yourself.